Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank. Dude, I'm your host, Strider Wilson. Dude, we got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks, dude. What up, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, I'm just freaking posted up right now, dude. I was chilling, talking with some of the valets, dude. And one of them goes, come to me looking for a little elderly advice, dude. I mean, I'm freaking every second. I mean, since we started this podcast, I've gotten a little bit older. I don't know if I've gotten a little bit wiser, but I think I'm getting a little bit danker, I'll tell you that. And he's like, dude, I'm seeing this girl. It's pretty chill. It's going well. I asked her to hang out this weekend, and she's like, I'm loving hanging out this weekend. I got some plans though, and like, cool. And he's like, oh, okay, chill. Dude, maybe next week. I'm like, whatever. Texting, vibing, whatever. Hey, what's your plans or whatever? You know what I mean? And she's an honest. He goes, hey, she's an honest, open girl. So we like to. We're honest. We're not exclusive. This is new. It's like, maybe I would like to be exclusive. It's kind of chill. Also, when he was telling me this, side note, he goes, they went to like a baseball game together. He goes, dude, on their date, a few seats over was a girl that he wanted to date with like about a year ago with her kid, husband, and family. I was like, dude, that could have been you, bro. Could have been you having a little baby kid. Anyway, just a side note. That's kind of like, was a little bizarro. And he goes, yeah, dude, she's going to go to she's going to like a ritualistic.
By the way, I dated a girl like that.
Who was like this girl was, I guess, was ultra Christian. So she was like,
same.
Yeah, that's how it goes, right?
I broke up with her because she wanted to marry and have a kid.
He's like, bang, bang, bang.
I was like, nope.
It's Mormon style, dude. Get into sale. You do that door-to-door stuff. They're building salesmen. These guys can sell you freaking white gloves. What is it? Ketchup? A bottle of ketchup if you're in white gloves or whatever. They could do it, dude. These guys will sell you. And the thing is, to be a good salesman, they believe it. So these Mormons, you get them to believe, and then you turn them into salesmen, door-to-door salesmen. You're making bank. All their names are Brady. Cruising around, blonde dudes, all 6'1", pretty decent crossovers. Hit some threes. Dude, anyway, this is kind of what this is about, though, because this dude's like, bro, I think, he's like, based on Instagram, he's like, I think she's going to like a, like maybe a cult, like ritual type sex thing or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. He's like, where's she at? And he's like, Sherman Oaks. I'm like, dude, you can't be in the city doing rituals, dude. Dude, if my wife was like, hey, I'm going to a sex party tonight, I'd be like, whoa, okay, curveball. It's something we're going to have to unpack with Lillian, the therapist. Okay? But if my wife was like, hey, I'm going to a sex party in the desert, okay, I get it. A little bit more acceptable. You can't be doing rituals at a Chipotle, dude. Okay, you got to be doing rituals next to some sort of stone structures. If the moon's not visible, I'm not hanging out with adults I don't know in robes. I imagine they're wearing robes. You need a little bit of, there needs to be a little pomp and circumstance. Whoever the leader is of this, you can't be renting out like you can't be renting out to WeWork. Being like, hey, we're going to sacrifice to the blood god tonight. It's like, no.
I'm sure it's in the hills.
You got to go to the hills, Aaron. Yeah. Exactly. You got
to get some elevation.
That's true. If you're in Malibu, if it's the closest to the city you can be is like a compound. It can't be a house. It's got to be a compound.
Yeah.
In Malibu.
Mulholland.
Yeah, you can't be close to any sort of, gas station or a 7-Eleven. There can't be any capitalism around you. You got to be either in Malibu or you're going to the desert. And the thing about being in the city, there's light pollution. So you can't see any. I got to see a few stars. If I can't see a constellation, I'm out. All right? It's just you getting what you paid for. I honestly think the ritual will be less powerful if you do it in the city. If you're really a true believer here. That's all I'm saying. So I told this guy, I was like, look, you're probably out. You know, she's getting, or she's not that into it. She's kind of getting the discount version of whatever rituals are. I don't know what you praise, or I don't know. It could be chill though. Maybe she's doing some positions that I never even heard about at this thing. This guy might be pretty, might learn something from her. So I said, hang in there, dude. At least hang out one more time and ask her about it. You got to get the story. She's like, hey, do you mind if my friend Charlie comes on our date with us? You're like, okay, then you're out.
Yeah.
No dude's named Charlie.
She might be like checking this thing out to like have the story.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes just living for the experience.
Like before we started dating, my wife went to a lingerie party in the Hollywood Hills.
Okay, that's interesting.
She never would have done that if we were dating.
Mm-hmm.
But she did it for the story. And it was weird. And they left.
Yeah, it's kind of like cool. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, as a dude, you're just wearing boxers at a lingerie party, just cruising around in a boxer and an undershirt. It's like ladies in lingerie, dudes in tuxes. That's kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
I always liked seeing chicks in emo dicks. It's a good theme for a party. All right, just had to talk about that. I'm saying, look, if you're going to a adult themed party or some sort of what's another word for like ritual or like just some cult shit, it better be in the desert, dude.
It's true. It should be.
You can't be doing this stuff at a Five Guys.
Yeah.
If there's more than 5 guys hanging out in this cult, there's an echelon of dudes. You got to be going to the desert. You can't be getting yourself. You can't be ordering a burger and then also being like, Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to kick things off with a fun little segment called Who Said It? Pretty easy. You ever seen a movie called Quiz Show? Good movie.
I never saw it.
Good movie from 1994. Some people will say, hey, should have won Best Picture, but it was a strong year. You got Forrest Gump, you got Pulp Fiction, you got Shawshank Redemption, you got freaking Quiz Show. Good movie. Ray Fiennes, my boy. And one of the things they do in that, there's a scene where it's like they're an erudite family, and they're all sitting around the dinner table, and they're like dropping quotes and shit, and like they're like talking in pretentious quotes. Everyone needs to get punched in the shoulder. But made me think of this fun little segment.
Also, 4 Weddings and a Funeral was the other best picture that year.
Huge year, dude.
Yeah.
Opposite of last year. Take that, 2024.
Yeah.
Little game called
30 years. We've learned nothing.
We've learned nothing in film. We've stepped backwards. Actually, the money goes all to TV shows and shit now or whatever. Yeah. Just not PBS though. Later.
Yeah.
Freaking PBS got ganked. Oh, by the way, I think they chose a new pope.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Don't know who.
Whatevs.
Just so it's going to be old news by the time this comes out anyway, but it's historic, so I have to mention it.
It's Trump, right?
1.4. Yeah, Trump's the Pope, dude. Hulk Hogan, dude. Dude, Trump's the President Pope General.
Pope Hulk Hogan is Pope Terry the First.
Pope, yes. That'd be amazing. Pope Terry, dude.
That's his real name.
It's Terry. Kind of funny. Kind of like a boy named Sue. I kind of like Terry as a guy's name, though. Terry's usually are pretty chill dudes at like Longboard, where I grew up. A dude named Terry, just dude, hanging 5. So there's a little fun game called Who Said It? If you're listening, of course, play along. I can give you hints as we go. Aaron, maybe you'd like to guess. Play along.
Sure.
Okay. This one should be pretty easy. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Who said it? Now here's your hint.
Mm-hmm.
Famous title of this author's book is in this quote. Art of War.
Yeah.
By?
Sun Tzu.
Ding, ding, ding. Hell yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're driving your car, give yourself a little fist bump. If you didn't know it, now you do. We're making gains. Okay, here's another one. I've said this on the podcast before. I say this a lot. It's one of my favorite quotes. Even though I don't necessarily like horses. Or actually I like horses, but they don't like me. And they're in control of me when I ride them.
Yeah.
There is something about the outside of a horse that is good for the inside of a man. Who said it? I can give hints.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay. No.
Rough Rider.
That's a great guess. But no.
Okay.
Later, this is a World War II leader. Here's another hint of yours.
Oh, Patton?
Mm-mm.
No.
Not an American. Also not a Nazi, don't worry.
Okay.
It's an ally.
Wait a minute. Was it Churchill?
Hitler, it was Churchill, exactly.
Okay.
Winston Churchill said that.
Me
just trying to create a narrative of it like, Hitler, not that bad of a guy.
I don't see Churchill on a horse.
I know.
Kind of an old, out of shape dude.
But he just kind of gets it. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you take this guy who's stressed out, probably hammered.
Yeah.
And saw a horse and he's like, fucking dude, these things are sick. That's a way of just saying these things are sick in like good ass leader terms, dude.
Yeah. He's also like got to be super lightheaded because he's smoking cigars all day.
Dude, he was walking around so dizzy. That dude just, when he went to bed, he was just always spinning. It's all day long. All right. One more. I actually have a bone. I've got two more. Our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. This is a hint for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 20th century historical figure.
Was it MLK?
Okay, it's not MLK, but it's a guy who's like MLK, a guy, battling for social justice, human rights.
Okay.
Perhaps even on, it's tough to say larger scale, but a massive scale. Because MLK's scale was huge as well.
Gandhi?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Dank.
Yeah.
If you were to recast, let's just do a little bonus, recast it today. Ben Kingsley, famously a great Gandhi. Who could play Gandhi today?
Today?
I know. Ben Kingsley did such a good job. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know. Just Kumail.
Riz Ahmed, dude.
Jacked Gandhi.
Riz Ahmed.
Well, Riz Ahmed for sure. Actually, I didn't consider him at all, but yeah, absolutely.
He could do it.
I was just thinking it'd be
Rami Malek would want to do it, dude, or Rami Malek.
Yeah.
He'd want to do, but he'd be like too weird. He'd be like, why is Gandhi all weird, dude?
His eyes are too weird.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny if it was Kumail. I know he's
so
Pakistani, but
ripped.
also like he's jacked.
He's
jacked
so
Gandhi.
ripped. Yeah, exactly. Just Gandhi being fucking jacked. Just wearing those when they do the thing where they wear the homespun clothes, that was one of the things Gandhi did, like only homemade clothes to boycott, to make it like hurt the pockets of the British Empire. Dude, okay, I got one more.
Sure.
Go-Gurts for idiots.
Oh, that's your dad.
Thank you. Well done. This is great. We'll never forget that. All right, moving right along. Segment number 2. This is a little help hurt bone.
All right.
This is a fun-ass game. For those of you listening for the first time, this works just like Kill, Marry, Fuck. I say 3 historical figures. You have to choose to help one in their endeavor, in their goals. In this, you can fictionally go back in time or however you see fit in your mind, as you explain, how you want to help someone, and I'll talk through my processes. How you want to help someone, how you would like to hurt someone historically, and then also, hey, let's bone. And of course, it would be consensual. You would woo them. You would take them to a 7-Eleven in Sherman Oaks, and you'd say, hey, let's do a ritual together. We can't see the moon. There's no stars out, but me and my boys meet up in this parking lot, and we wear robes, and we're going to make a sacrifice to the blood god. That would have to be done in the desert. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it if it happens behind a Goodwill in Burbank. I do buy it, though, if it happens in the hills up in Burbank. So that's just kind of it. Maybe it just happens. Maybe you just need a backyard. You might need just a pretty sick backyard and some good outdoor lighting and some catering. Maybe Chipotle should be there. You cater. I've come full circle on this. I'm down. I'll spread my butt. Okay. Let me introduce these figures. And you might think this is a layup. Countess Elizabeth Bathory. Do you know who this is?
I don't.
Have you heard of her before?
No.
She's a Hungarian princess. And she is on record as the most prolific murderess in history. Though no one can claim for sure how many women she killed. So she was a lady who killed women.
A lady killer, some might say.
She's a total lady killer, not the type in a tuxedo. She is cited as killing 650 at her trial. Stories of Bathory's sadistic serial slayings were verified in testimony. Over 300 witnesses. Some survivors. Her and her like 4 servants would basically some Game of Thrones shit. Just basically total sadists. This is pretty morbid, so sorry for this. She would horribly mutilate dead bodies, dying, and she would imprison women, and just she would bathe in the blood of virgins behind a subway in Burbank. No, she would do this. They say it was to maintain her youth. That's why she would do that. So some like Snow White type shit, the evil fucking witch or whatever from Snow White. What do they call that lady?
The Wicked Witch?
The Wicked Witch?
Or, yeah, the Evil Witch?
So known bad lady. However, I have to say, just for the purpose of this game.
Sorry, the Wicked Queen.
Yeah, the Wicked Queen,
I've seen
yes.
this movie so many times.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? That lady.
I don't, if I may, on a tangent real fast.
Yeah.
That lady is so, every time I watch this with my daughter, because she loves it, that lady is so into her own personal image. I don't believe she would make herself ugly even to kill Snow White. So
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah, she wouldn't even do that for a day.
How could she know it's even going to go back?
Maybe she, magic's a fickle thing.
I wouldn't believe it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't trust it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't trust that. You can never trust magic. Low-key good power move. If you're at a kid's birthday party, make the magician explain the trick to you. Hey, how'd you do that?
Yeah, come at him with that energy.
Come at him. Hey.
If you have a hat with a flat bill on it, that'd be great.
Definitely, dude. Very San Diegan.
Yeah.
If you're a San Diegan and you're at a kid's birthday party, you got cargo shorts on, you roll up with your...
Maybe a spiderweb tattoo over your elbow.
Definitely. And you feel threatened by the magic that just happened before your eyes, you got to go up to the magician. Yo, hold up. Where'd that bird come from? Yo, you just catch birds and shit? That your thing? You like to catch birds, trap them and shit? They should be flying and shit? Fuck you, dude. How'd you do that? Show me now. No, I don't care if Braden sees. Let him see, dude. Let him see, dude. Tell me. Dude, I got a card for you. Fucking elbow drop you, dude. Keep the Joker card in there, bitch, and see if you can still do the trick, bitch. Okay, so known bad lady.
Yeah.
Next, that's Countess Elizabeth Bathory. Next is Confucius.
Okay.
All right. Chill guy. Influenced the Chinese Empire. Confucius' teaching, his belief system, emphasizes moral integrity, respect for family, and social harmony. Conversely, it could be ultra conservative, maybe not accepting of all people, but encourages empathy and strong relationships among people. That's for certain. Helps leaders, lead in hopefully moral and just way. And it highlights the significance an individual can have on the values and ethics of society. If it's start small and some sort of Gandhi shit, change yourself, be the change you want to see type stuff. Okay? Confucius. And then finally, I said I'd bring him back. Lansford Hastings. This is the schmoll from last episode of the Donner Party. The guy who told the Donner Party to take Hastings' cut off. A huge, huge bitch.
Wow.
Trying to sling books. So, you got to help, you got to hurt, and you got to bone someone, dude. Elizabeth Bathory, Confucius, or Lansford Hastings. This is hard.
Yeah.
This is hard. You thought it was going to be a layup when I said Countess Elizabeth Bathory. You go, oh, dude, she's a murderer.
Yeah.
But now you're thinking, we might have to fuck. Confucius probably doesn't need help.
No.
I might go psycho. I might
She only kills women, right?
She only kills women. Tortures.
Yeah, I think you got to fuck that one.
That's what I'm saying. You're safe. You can bone her, dude.
And she's
and you can bone, and she was probably a freak in the sheets, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
You know she's gonna dump some sort of goat blood or milk on you while you're.
I don't want that.
It's gonna happen. You know, it's consensual. You can be like, hey, not into it. Okay, I think you got a boner. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, then who are you helping and who are you hurting?
I'm helping Confucius.
Let's go. This is actually kind of a layup here. Although, because technically we chose not to save a lot of these young women here. We're technically bad guys. But we are saving the Donner Party.
Yeah.
And we're saving a lot of people there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And we can help Confucius because he's sick. He's the man, spread his messages even more.
Yeah.
And then
he needs a little more broadening and acceptance.
Yep. This is at 551 to 479 BC. We can go back and be like, dude, you got to create an Instagram. You're going to blow up. Trust. Have you heard of Threads? All right. I think we nailed that. Now let's get to our historical share for the week. The White War. No, this is not some Red Army, White Army, Bolshevik, communist war going on in Russia. Although this does take place when the Russian Civil War is going on in the backdrop of World War I. However, the parties involved here is Austro-Hungary and Italy. And I guess I'm a little bit nutty about struggles and altitude. Because the last episode we did, I believe, was the Donner Party. Now, this episode also, I'm realizing, has to do with struggles and altitude. And I thought to myself, you know what sucked to get stranded in the Sierra Nevadas? You got no food. You got to start cannibalizing one another. Now imagine being in the Italian Dolomites. The average elevation of warfare, actually not the average, but was up to 12,000 feet, probably somewhere between elevation of 8,000 to 12,000 feet. You're fighting up in jagged, razor sharp rock and snow, bro. Jeez. And this is World War I. So we've all seen All Quiet on the Western Front. We all know how World War I worked, where it was you would dig these trenches, and then there was no man's land, and then you would battle for a few yards. You gain and lose a few yards, and it would cost thousands and thousands of lives. The human toll was insane. This is that on steroids. This is the Great Western Front. Actually, not really. This is a front of World War I. I believe technically it might even be an Eastern Front, but it doesn't matter.
Well, who the hell's doing this?
These are the Italians, and this is Austro-Hungary. So in World War I, the reason that this warfare, this line exists, is in the spring of 1916, the Austrians swept down through these mountains, and they reached the Venetian plain. They could have marched on Venice and encircled much of Italy, the Italian army, breaking what had been a year-long stalemate. But the Italians stopped them up in the mountains. So that's where the line just happened to be. That's where they were able to hold them.
Where's that 300,
Yeah, this movie?
Yeah.
Dude, this would be a good movie. Yeah. Dude, you get sick-ass soldiers. This is soldiers on skis. You have soldiers who are expert mountain climbers. Mm-hmm. You have dudes who are bouldering. You got sniper missions. The tunnels and stuff that they're digging are in glaciers. That's where they would take refuge and hide out from enemy artillery, was within glaciers. So you're hiding in historical, geological fucking structures, dude. It's pretty sick. They would have little bases and outposts and different peaks. There's like basically 6 or 7 main peaks, because obviously you want the high ground and shoot down on your enemy. And they would exchange hands. There's like 9 battles of like the peak of El Serpico or whatever the fuck. And we won't get into all the details, but they the way that like the weather will impact one side worse. They'll get packed in by snow. The enemy will see that. They're like, okay, let's move and let's go take it. And then the enemy, either Austria or Italy, has to get clever in how do they regain that territory. And a lot of times they'll like tunnel through a glacier, surprise them, gank the other enemy. They get, taken back down to their little refuge on the other side of the mountain or whatever. And no side ever really crosses the other side. It's just, they say there's about 150,000 soldiers in this White War campaign between the two sides. And of all the deaths, 2/3 was due to weather and just accidents. And 1/3 was because of actual combat. So the real winner, of course, in time, ends up being Italy, just because the Allied forces end up winning. But that's only because an armistice is signed and everyone just goes home, who's left. But no one really actually takes land and gains it and wins. The real winner, they say, it's a sick ass quote. They're like, is Mother Nature. Mother Nature's the real winner, dude. So yeah, just
like an arm wrestling match. You got to get over the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy,
dude. That's exactly what it is. You got to go over the top, baby. Sick ass movie. They would
with an Italian Stallone.
Dude, if Sly Stallone was out there,
and I believe Loja.
We got to get out there. The Hungarians are coming through the Tarantino Trench. We got to get up there now. Let's go.
He could create an avalanche by just yelling, "Adrian!"
Oh, and
Adrian!
Stallone was in Cliffhanger.
Oh, great call.
Around. Yeah.
Dude, there was guys that they would zip line. Guys would shoot zip lines, otherwise zip lines, so they could travel across and just get different angles on the enemy.
The sickest move.
They were doing some of the sickest. Here's the thing: it was terrible and it was cold, and sometimes temperatures would reach negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. But no one's going out in that.
No.
But you would get to do some of the most sick, badass shit in World War I. Skiing, zip lining, rock climbing. You would put dynamite in mountains. You would try to bury the enemy by creating avalanches. You could be chilling and getting ganked by an avalanche. That sucks.
See, dynamite, sure, that'll work. But I like the avalanche that's caused by like a whistle.
Yeah, that's always kind of cool.
Hillside falls down.
Just a guy who's got a good, powerful whistle.
Yeah.
Famously, the Desert Fox, Erwin Rommel from World War II, he served in this campaign briefly.
Oh, wow.
Worst position you could have in this campaign was probably on the Austro-Hungarian side. If you were a captured Russian soldier, you would be sent to build and tunnel and do all the most dangerous tasks, and you would have no experience. It'd be like me just captured and then being like, yeah, you got to climb up that rock and chip away and like create a little wedge or whatever with no ropes. Maybe we'll have ropes for you. One of your buddies will hold it, but he's got no idea what he's doing. And you're going to have to just go ahead and just create like a step ladder for stone so we can get over and snipe the enemy from there.
Yeah.
And if you fall, don't worry. We just got 6 guys just freezing right here, ready to go next.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Your only friend is a goat.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. I mean, the Dolmen, this might be a good place for a goat ritual, dude. Desperation.
Yeah.
So just the most interesting thing is just and you can explore it now because there's been like ice melting going on. I was reading this article because of global warming. Maybe I'm sorry if I triggered anyone by saying that, dude. Shut up, dude. But there's been more ice melt, and more and more artifacts are being surfaced now. Bodies, dude. They would just throw enemy soldiers in crevasses, dude. You would get killed, and they'd be like, throw them in the crevasse. They said there's like 5,000 just soldiers' bodies in there.
Wow,
crazy, just down in different crevasses.
Never catch my crevasse up there.
No, I'll spread my crevasse though if it keeps me out from going up one of those ladders. Basically the big takeaway from that is these defensive structures and the creativity involved to try to get the enemy and also avoid artillery and just hunker down, and like the engineering. It was like progressive engineering on both sides of just like the massive tunnel system and trenches that they built through the mountains, through glaciers to survive these crazy fortresses. They would have whole underground cities, basically like mini little cities in glaciers where like the commander's outpost would be. So just kind of like basically some Star Wars level type shit, like some Hoth type stuff. So pretty fucking sick. They would bring artillery up there. They'd have to bring up just by manpower. Sheer manpower. I mean, of course, mules and horses and stuff where they could use them. But other than that, you just have to use ropes, pulleys, just some sick ass tech to get stuff up there. Tech that they had at the time. Up to 12,000 feet of altitude. Places where usually shepherds are cruising, dude, and Sherpas, I should say. Not shepherds, but maybe shepherds.
Maybe.
With goats. But now soldiers and snipers are up there shooting down on weather. Just gnarly guerrilla-style warfare. So just pretty badass. And I mean, you know, I want to make you aware of this war. You can go into exchanges, and most of them involve, like I was saying earlier, battling for this main like 6 or 7 high altitude fortress points that would exchange hands between the two sides every few months or so, based on either weather or a development in rock climbing or a new route around. And then artillery and guys would like, life would be won and lost, 1,000 soldiers per time, couple hundred in invasions, and you know, some commanders would get a hair up their ass and it'd be super cold, -22, and they're like, we are going out, because they don't think we're going to be out right now. And you know, soldiers would just freeze along the way. Sure, they'd get the fortress, and then you wouldn't be able to hold it. It's like, okay, great, now we have it, but it's just so hard to get reinforcements and everything up here. How are we going to hold it?
Wow. Also,
there was crazy like wartime mini economies. Basically, the Hungarian side was like, everyone who lives like at the base of the mountain is now employed to just work for us, like farming. And they would the best job you could get was to be, you know, one of the Russian captives and just be a farmer. If you had some skill, be like, no, I'm really good at farming. I can plow really well. And you just create and just farm this whole subsistence economy to fuel this war up in the mountains is like kind of crazy and insane. So
I would hate to have a teenage daughter in one of those towns.
Yeah, a lot of just horny dudes coming to just hard, as rock hard as the fucking Dolomites as soon as they lay eyes on your daughter. Yeah, just get her out of there.
Yeah,
as quick as you can. Good news is that later on towards the war, when they had more conscription on the Austro-Hungarian side, actually maybe the Italians did this too, they would enlist super young soldiers and then also like dudes up to 50. So your daughter might put it a little safer because you got young kids who, you know, aren't even activated, and then old dudes who just, you know, can't get wood. So that's kind of chill, I guess. You know, there's always a silver lining, I guess, is a huge takeaway there from this white war. There's a silver lining. Okay, before we get the hell out of here, real quick, I want to do a thank call. I want to call the Geek Squad because they installed a TV for me and let them know that they're actually chill, dude. They're not geeks.
Welcome to the Burbank Best Buy. One moment while I look up your account.
No, dude, don't look up my account.
What happened to the anonymity of it?
I understand you want to speak with someone. Our Best Buy team members are specialized in different areas. To get you to the right person as fast as possible, please tell me a little more about what you need help with.
Geek Squad. Gotta let them know they're chill.
You have a billing question, right?
No.
No.
Nah, dude, I got a question for the Geek Squad.
You're calling about Geek Squad, right?
Yeah.
Our Geek Squad team members are specialized in different areas, so please tell me which of the following you're calling about. Repairs, tech support, installations, deliveries, billing,
installations,
protection plan. What's the general category for the product this is for? Say TV, home theater. And one more thing. Do you already have an appointment scheduled?
Nah. No.
No problem. Let me get you over to a Geek Squad agent. They'll take care of you.
Thank you.
Your call may be recorded and monitored.
Thank you, dude. My call is recording and monitoring as well, dude.
Thanks for that, chat.
To schedule
GPT.
an in-home repair
Exactly,
service,
dude.
please have the serial number of the product available. If you know the serial number of the product or are physically with the product, please press 2. If you do not know the serial number, please press 1.
Let's just press 2 so that we can just keep rocking and rolling.
Please hold for the next available agent.
They're an agent.
Dude, You can't also be an agent and a geek.
My name is Rob. Can I have your first and last name, please?
What up, Rob? My name's Strider Wilson, and basically I was just calling today to let you guys know that the Geek Squad, there was this dude, Chris, that installed my TV, and he was not a geek. He was the man. He was chill. So I just want to let you guys know that you guys should maybe change your name to the Chill Squad.
Okay, got it. All right. Then thank you. Thank you very much for contacting us about it. So the guy who arrived to your home is not a Geek Squad agent?
No, he was part of the Geek Squad, but I'm saying that he was actually really legit and chill. Like, he was pretty jacked. He was wearing cargo shorts. He had a calf tattoo that said Cali Rips, which is kind of not cool, but it's still a tattoo, which is chill.
Okay. Got it. Yes, actually, we have to escalate, this concern, all right? And
No, dude, I'm not even concerned. I'm just letting you guys know that it's tight.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a great job. So I was just calling to say thank you, and maybe you could pass on to Chris that
Sure.
he crushed it, and he was chill.
Okay.
And I invited him back for a few tall boys.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to contact us about it. So yes, actually, this is something that we need to handle. Okay.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, dude. And yeah, if man, if he wants to get a handle of whatever, JMO, Jack, Tito's, I'm down with that too. So just let him know. He's got my info.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Wonderful. All right, then thank you. All right. For contacting us about it.
Thanks, man. He is the guy with the calf tattoo.
Okay, got it. Thank you. All right. Perfect.
Dude, that's what's up right there, dude. Just great vibes. He's stoked.
I don't know. That guy might get a talking to.
That guy? No. Did I get him in trouble?
Well, he was like talking about escalating it and it's just like, wait, no, this is positive.
This defeats the purpose of thank calls, dude. He's like, no. I was like, dude, he did a great job.
Okay, that guy's fired.
Look, the TV's on the wall. I also outed him by saying, you imagine the manager's going to be like, everyone, let me see your calves. Turn around, dude. Let me look. He's got his Cali Rips on there, dude. I mean, he's a chill guy. Also, if he gets fired, he knows where I live, so he can come kill me, and then that will be justice. He can perform a ritual on me. I can be the ritualistic sacrifice for him. He just takes me behind a Best Buy, which is interesting. That'd be a pretty solid place for a ritual, I guess, behind a Best Buy.
Yeah.
Why not, dude? Get a few dudes who are disgruntled and wear some robes and, say it's for, some sort of, I mean, what are people doing rituals for? I don't even know, dude. I got to look up more about this. I got to ask this valet when I see him next. Anyway, dude, we got to get the hell out of here, dude. What up to the Geek Squad? You guys are actually chill. Hopefully I didn't get Chris fired and that guy's not in trouble. Maybe I'll have to cruise over there in person and be like, dude, it's all good. Anyway, stay stoked and we'll freaking catch you guys on the next one, dude.